Green all the way in 6A.
Hi, my name is Mike and welcome to my apartment. I've always been interested in making things, and in these little vlogs that we're putting together for you, I want to take garbage, things that you would normally throw away like cardboard boxes, and I'm going to show you how to make them into something practical. On today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make a coffee table, and what I've done is I've taken a bunch of empty cardboard boxes that I found in the dumpster where I work. And these are all regular little boxes. As you can see, at one time they were boxes, but we just flattened them. And this is obviously going to be the surface of our table eventually. But before that, I need to show you how I'm making the legs of the table. And what I've done is, I don't know about you, but I get junk mail all the time. I have all sorts of paper just from my life. You know, I'm going to cut these into 2-inch squares. And once I do that, you stack them. This is quite a time-consuming process, but I like it because it's all green and it's all sustainable. And like I said before, it's all stuff that I would have thrown out anyway. So I have my little cutter. And I bought this at a store. Is fold these sheets in half, like so, and make my 2-inch squares, just like this. And then we square it off, like so, and voila, we've got 2-inch squares. Repeat this process bunches of times until you have a stack like this. And then what I did was I took the paper and then I taped it with either masking tape or any kind of cheap tape that you can buy at a dollar store. Really use your local dollar store because there's a lot of stuff in there that is great. The roll of tape, like so, and become the legs of our table. Like this. Now we have all of our stacks of paper that we've made into little cubes, and they're made into little cubes because then they're easier to handle. You don't want to be we need to put them all together so that they come out looking like a complete leg. And what I've done is I've taken one of my cardboard boxes that I showed you earlier, and I've just decided that the length of this is going to be the length of my table, so we don't even need to cut it. We're just going to use this as the length. It's about 18 inches. That's about what I want. And we're going to I'm going to set it on my cardboard, and I'm going to trace how wide it needs to be, like that. And I'm going to cut all the way up here like this. So I've got my strip, and I'm just making sure that it's the right width, because remember, we're going to have to cut 3 more of these and then tape it all together so that all of our cubes that we've made can fit in here and be nice and secure. Now make these into a square tube. So what I do is I take some duct tape, and I'm using duct tape just because it's a little stronger than the packaging tape. You probably could get away with either one, but I just feel a little bit more secure using duct tape since it's stronger. And again, I bought this for $1. So you really ultimately know that everything that we're making here is going to be covered up with paper, and we're going to decoupage it to decorate it the way we want to. So none of this is going to be showing. This is all just to keep it all together. So you take your duct tape, and then you have to tape these pieces all together like so. And I'm just starting with a little bit of duct tape at the beginning to get this going. Like so. Okay. Now, we want to have something on the bottom to hold it all together, to hold all the paper in so it doesn't slide out. So I've just taken some pieces of scrappy cardboard that I've had around, and this is how I do my ends. I take the end that I'm going to use, put the tape in the middle, and then put it like this. so that we can secure the bottom like this, and then put another piece crosswise. Keep it nice and secure, like so. And as you can see, we have what should be a pretty perfect square. This is the fun part. Turn it over. And all of your pieces get to go in like so. And then you can kind of pinch it to make it all fit properly. And once you get it about halfway, you can start taping up to keep it all secure inside. You really want to make sure that this is nice and solid. So if you find that your cubes aren't exactly fitting, like here, I've got too much. We don't want all that to go in there. So what we're going to do is, before we get to the very top, you want to take some of your loose squares that you've made. See how these are all loose? And you want to put those in there. Those are going to be your filler for making sure that everything fits nice and perfectly. So you just want to play around with that until you get a really nice fit. And I think, oh, this is perfect. Look at that. You really want it to be, see how much I have here? But when I squeeze it, it gets compressed and it's really, really nice and tight. So what I'm going to do is get another one of my little cardboard pieces that we put on the bottom, like that. We're going to put this on the top. You're probably going to tape down my top. Everything's going to just get taped down. And this is kind of tricky. You want to make sure you get a nice and strong, push down nice and strong, so that that's really in there nice and secure. And then, of course, we're going to do it crossways as well, just to reinforce. Would like it to be a little bit more wide at the top, because remember, we're going to be supporting a whole surface of a table, and I just think it might be nice to have a little bit more width at the top. So what I'm doing is I'm taking each leg and I'm wrapping it twice with another piece of cardboard just to give it some more strength. And what I've done is I've opened up one of the boxes and I'm just cutting off the little flaps at the end. And as you can see, it's very convenient. 8 flaps, and we need 8 for our table. So all I'm doing is simply following the seam that's already there. You don't even need to measure it out. And just cutting off the flaps like this. Just set my table leg on the end so that the end is lining up nice and even. And you literally go like that, and the cardboard will fold itself. You don't even have to do the work. And then you go like that, and you are perfectly, the folds will match perfectly with the leg. And then for the last one, it just so happens to be exactly the right measurement, which is wonderful. So we've got this one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our longer flap and do the exact same thing, because I want this to be really nice and strong. So set that up like that, give it a fold, give it another fold just like that. Now this one is going to be longer, but don't worry, because we'll just cut off the excess. You can see here, and you have a really nice tight tube. You can see that it's really tight. So, and that's what you want. But they have our legs reinforced. And in order to make this very strong, I think it's nice that you can cut the corners out so that when you put your legs of your table in, they will be going in to the actual work of the table. I don't like the idea of it just being on the top, because I think it would be a little stronger to have the support of the actual table. So this is how I'm my third corner, and I'm just putting it at the very, very corner of my top sheet. And make sure that this corner, make sure that the outermost corner is flush with your top cardboard piece. And I'm just going to trace it like so. And that has become my template now for the rest of the layers going down. And I do suggest that you do this separately for each corner, because you never know, one might be a little bigger, it might be a little slightly different shape. It is a time-consuming process, but if you want it to fit together really nicely, make sure that you do it for each separate corner. And I label it. So I'm putting a 3 at the bottom of my leg, so I know that this is the leg that belongs in this corner. And then I'm putting the 3 right here on my cardboard. And I will do that for every subsequent layer until we get to the bottom. Now notice, I'm not cutting the corner out of this because I want this to be the very, very top of our table. Cut a nice little square, like so. Down.
Green all the way in 6A.